Hi, grade 12s. Video number 3. This is the Vlookup. I just want to encourage you though to please go to try nested if in your 4.2 module in that folder and go and try these 3 statements. I'll put the memo in one of the videos that follow, maybe tomorrow or the next day. It's a very nice little activity, especially number C. Go and see if you can do the nested if. Okay, but today we are focusing on Vlookup. What is a vertical lookup? What is a Vlookup function? Vlookup says it does just that. It goes and it looks up a value in a table and returns the corresponding value that you specify. Okay? In other words, if you're looking for what is the description and the cost, here's a table that's got ON1 is bookkeeping, 2 is digital, 8 is PowerPoint, blah, 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 and it's got all the amounts. Now, what you're trying to do is you're trying to put the description in there and you're trying to put the cost in there. If you did a nested if here, you would have to go if ON00, if C2 equals ON001, then bookkeeping. If not, but it's 002, then it's digital photography. If not, but it's 03, then it's marketing. If not, but it's 006, whatever, then it's journalism. So you would do a nested if of 1, 2, 3, or 11. Why am I counting? Okay, never mind. It's late in the day for me. So there's 11 different options here. Imagine putting that in a nested if. It's going to take you till tomorrow and the next day and the next week. So what you do in a case like this is there's too many to put in a nested if. You could do the nested if. In fact, I'd urge you to try one. You could do a nested if, but it's going to honestly take you forever. The vertical lookup says go and find that value, find ON001 in this table, okay? In this table. Go and find that in that table and return the description and return the cost. You're going to now say you're going to do two lookup functions. You're going to first do a lookup function that says go and find that cell in that table and return the description, okay? The description. And then we're going to do another one that says go and find that code in that table and return the cost. Now we need to look at a VLOOKUP as very importantly. This VLOOKUP table's got 3 columns. The first column of any VLOOKUP table is only for looking up. Okay. In other words, it'll always be your lookup column. They call it the leftmost column. The very first column, that's column 1. I'm going to put there. That's column 2. That's column 3. All right. That's the 3 columns you've got in your table. The first one I've highlighted in yellow will always, did I say always? Be the lookup column. You're not going to, that column will never be what you're going to put in here or there. That's going to be the lookup. So you're going to go and find ON001 in that table, and you're going to return the corresponding value, in this case description. Now I'm going to show you. Remember, I'm not taking too much time to do this. I'm going to do it and then give you an opportunity. You can rewind the video and do it in your own time. So now, maybe I should have just been in the right place where I wanted to be. So, okay, I'm not pausing or going back. It takes too long. Right, there we go. So the VLOOKUP function says, looks for a value in the leftmost column of the table and then returns the value in the same row. So if you said look up ON001, it's going to give you bookkeeping. If you go look up ON009, it's going to give you Photoshop. All right, are you with me? I'm sure you're seeing a pattern here. You need to think ahead, see? All right, so the lookup value is that. Go and look up that ON001 in this table. Go look it up in that table, okay? I keep on forgetting to do that. I'm going to backspace this out. Go and look up J2. That's the lookup value. I'm getting excited now because I haven't taught this for a while and I love teaching this function. Go and look up C2. Look up that value. That's what you do, right? Table array. The table array is, well, it's the table, hello? Where must I go and look it up? Where must I look it up? And Excel knows that it's going to look up that value because that is the lookup value column. That's the table array. Now, if you remember absolute referencing, obviously, if you don't absolute reference that table, when you drag this formula down, the table range is going to change. You don't want that to happen. So you must just do a quick F4. No, my F4 is not working here. That's okay. That's fine. I'll just put dollar signs in, what's the name? I'll just put normal dollar sign in there and a dollar sign in there. Okay. Before and after. It's quite weird if you've got to do the dollar signs and not press F4. I'm wasting time here. Where am I going? There we go. I didn't set my laptop keyboard properly. Okay, so I've now made that an absolute reference, and you understand the concept of why. You make the table an absolute reference, and when I drag it down, it doesn't change. You want the lookup table, the range of the lookup table must stay the same. So we've looked up that value in that table. We've now said which column must it return. Now this is the part that for some reason confuses a lot of people. What must you return? Well, this says description. I don't want to return that. I don't want to return that. I want to return column 2. So what do I type there? I just type a 2. Why do I type a 2? Because that is column 2. If I was returning an amount, I would say column 3. Let me ask you a question. Think about it. Can it ever be column 1? No, it can't be column 1. Why can't it be column 1? Because column 1 is the lookup column. Only the lookup column. That's all it's there for. You never return that value in your formula area. So now I've said go and look up ON001, which is C2. In that table, I've absolute referenced it and return column 2. The last one is the one that confuses everybody, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that now. I'm going to just give you an example. It says the range lookup says it's a logical value to find the closest match in the first column. Now, if you leave it out, it means it's not an exact match. If you type the word false, it means it's an exact match. Now, what the heck am I talking about? In other words, ON001 is bookkeeping. ON001 is not bookkeeping or marketing or Photoshop. It's a specific exact match. ON004 is Photoshop. ON004 is not, whatever I'm doing there, ON004 is not Photoshop and digital photography. So that is why we say exact match. You can read it here. It says it's a logical value to find the closest match in the first column. There's no closest match here. I'm going to show you in a second what a closest match is. It's an exact match. If I say okay, it says bookkeeping, whoop whoop. I'm going to drag down just one, ON002. It's now digital photography. Let me go all the way down. Let me not mess around here. Ooh, come on, my mouse is getting a bit sticky here. There they are. Personal finance should be 10. PowerPoint should be 8. And the thing is working perfectly. So I'm going to take you back here for a second and say, right. Now remember, I'm not doing this over and over again. You must go and take my video and rewind and practice these steps. So the first thing we did is to say, what is the lookup value? There it is. The lookup value was going to look up that. Where? In that table. So you select the table and then you make it an absolute reference. Hopefully your F4 is working. What is this column index number? The column index number says it's the column number in a table from which you want the matching value. The matching value here is the description of the course. It's not the cost. So I said column 2 and it's false. The range lookup is not true. It's false because it's an exact match. 3 is marketing. 5 is internet. 6 is journalism. It's not 6, 7, and 8 is journalism. 1 for 1. Best way I could explain it. Right. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to quickly show you the same thing on cost. Now, what we're going to do now is exactly the same function. But now we're looking up that in there. But we are returning the amount into our function. So Vlookup. The Vlookup says, all righty then, go and look up that value. Where must I go and look it up? I'm just going to look it up in that table. Okay. I must make it absolute referencing. Here we go again. Mrs. Smith will make sure that her keyboard has been set to be conducive to foster capturing. I'm spoiled, eh? You know how much I love the F4 key. Right, so now I've done that. I've made my table an absolute reference that I don't, when I drag it down, that the range of the table doesn't change. What is the column number? Right. Is it 1? No. You know why it's not 1? Because we never use the lookup column as a return value. It's only to look up. It's not column 2 because that is bookkeeping and digital photography. This says cost. So it's going to be the third column. Once again, is it an exact match or is it a range? It's not a range. A range would be if ON001 to ON003 was 5,500. It's not a range. It is an exact match. So we say false. And okay, and if I drag it down, hopefully it works like a charm. Let's just test 1 or 2. PowerPoint is ON008 should be 36. PowerPoint 008 is 36. So we have a Vlookup function. I'm going to leave it there that I don't get you guys too confused, but you need to practice it. 1 or 2 things quickly that I want to show you before I finish off. that is the basics. Now you've got this. You've actually got this. Me showing you step by step. You open yours and you do exactly what I've done. But please, not like a parrot. Once again, you will get a different table. You will get different questions. You can't learn functions like parrots. You've got to get the concept and the understanding of the function. A table will either be in the same spreadsheet, and it'll be there for you. This will always be, the lookup column will always be in alphabetical order. It will always be in alphabetical order, either by number or by letter. And otherwise, the table could even be in another spreadsheet. Next, in the same spreadsheet, sorry, another worksheet. Doesn't matter. You do exactly what you did before, but remembering that when you go backwards and forwards that you don't mess up your... but once again, we've done working across worksheets. Use those guidelines, please. All right. And then the last thing I just want to show you very quickly when it comes to VLOOKUP, I'm going to open my other little spreadsheet. The part that confuses a lot of people about... what did I do with it now? Oh, this one. About what do you mean, man, by this thing of is it a range or is it an exact match? If I say that this is column 1 and this is column 2 and this is column 3 again, all right? That's my second column, that's my third column. Remember, the lookup column is only a lookup column. Now, initially we went here and we said that bookkeeping is 5.5 and ON002 is digital photography 4.5. 003 is marketing 4.6. So there's no ranges here. But have a look here quickly. The range here says 15. If it's 15, it's bronze. If it's 30, it's silver. But people, it's from 15 to 29 is actually bronze. 30 to 44 is actually silver. 45 to 59 is actually first gold. So you need to understand what they're saying. When they say, is it a range or is it a exact match? They are talking about, is that a range or is that an exact match? They're not talking about the table. They're talking about the lookup column, which is column 1. Okay, I think I've said enough. I've gone over a little bit that I wanted to do today, but please, once again, just keep at it. Go and look at my stuff. Go and see how you're doing. Go and practice, pause, and all of those nice things and see how you go. I will be doing a little bit more on Nestady for you. I'll put a memo in with my next spreadsheet, and then I'm going to be moving on to Access and HTML. So please, grade 12s, I want to implore you to go and spend your time learning and doing studying, because we are not going to be able to do any revision when we get back to school. It's going to be right nose to the grindstone to finish our syllabus. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.